Hello everybody. I got a little stack of stuff here that I'm gonna take outside and paint and then try to do something with it. Okay, you like my psychedelic shirt? We were doing school colors and a while back, and so that's what I got. Okay, the paint I'm used to using I can't find anywhere, so I'm gonna use this Kills chalk style, and I'm doing it outside because it's got a big warning, cancer and reproductive harm and all that good stuff. So, I'm gonna, the painting one thing at a time, just ain't getting it. If you ever watch Jamie Ray Vintage, you'll see how she does it, and I'm starting to see why. And these little things, they came with a glass and picture on it, and I'm going to do something different with them. But I got to paint them. Hope the paint will stick to that. And this is pretty, but I want to make it shabby chic looking, you know, the colors and all. And this is a glass frame. It had a glass in it. And so I was going to sell it just like the frame. I didn't notice it had a big crack. So I put some of that E6000, I kind of opened it up and put it down in there. And I'm going to paint it, and where that E6000 shows, I'll figure out something. And then I'll put like rice paper or something there, just for decoration. I got some keys. Okay, I'll aim it toward the table and get busy. I've never used this. Hope it's good. Seems thick. Tell you what, I'll start with the back side. It'll probably bleed. Well, I ain't got to paint the back. Of course, I done started it now, haven't I? I'm trying to hurry because it's supposed to rain. And that's interfering with my brain function, I reckon. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, now one thing I noticed also that kills a lot of time is I make something and I'm trying to do it with perfection. And I'll say, well, let's try this here and let's see how it looks there. And like I would if I was just making something for myself and I had all the time in the world. If you're doing this to make money, you just got to get on it and make it pretty and then move on to the next one. That's what I'm finding. These are like dirt cheap brushes. I don't know where I got them. Oh, look at that. It's still there. You know, this paint don't stink too bad from what I can tell. It smells about like the Waverly, which it might have a big warning on it somewhere. I don't know if I've ever checked to see. And I'll get all this paint smeared on here, and then I'll go back and check for my runs. That's one thing I love about the what do you call it, distress look. You just don't have to be perfect. Okay. Maybe I should have counted the sides as the back. I had it flipped. Well, I'm slinging paint everywhere. Oh, and one thing I've been thinking about. Okay, I've got that room. It's like in the middle of the house. And it was my ex's. Well, it was supposed to be, and we never did get the junk out of it. But it's supposed to be in his, like his video and in hobby room. And I was gonna make that my workroom. But I'm thinking I'm gonna use it to try to, in an organized manner, keep my purchases in there, and then try to get my building cleaned out and do my work in there. Because I'd planned on, okay, what was I planning? Well, you know, I had my den as my craft room, or work room, that stayed cluttered like crazy. I'm not very organized. And then I decided, well, I'll have that for, I'll move my workroom in that other room, and then use the den to kind of store some things and all, or something. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, I've decided to use my den as den, and the extra room to be my storage and work out in my building, unless it's storming because there's tall trees over it. That's one thing that scares me about being out there. But the reason I don't want to store my stuff out there after, you know, after I buy it or paint it, is because things are starting to get that, I don't know if you call it mold or mildew or what, little green fuzz. And so I'm probably going to have to change my plans. Now with our old blue building, it done that, and I rented this machine. It blows some kind of salt solution everywhere, and I think it helped. May try that. I don't know. I just don't feel safe. It's big old, well, I can show you. Okay, maybe you can see it with all this light. So there's my workshop, and there's those tall pines that I don't trust. I think that's the top of the pines. It's so bright I can't really see on this little screen. But yeah, that worries me. I had to run and get a cleaning rag. I grabbed my camera like I didn't even have paint on me. Anywho. Okay, I got a layer on that. I'm gonna get a bunch of dirt in these if I ain't careful. And I'm going to distress the keys. So it don't matter if I bang them around. Ain't messy painting fun? Or not as stressful anyway. I hope this paint distresses fairly easy. Alright. Smooth that out a little bit where it won't be all lumpy. Up some more keys. Oh, that looks pretty, don't it? I may leave this one mostly white just because it looks so pretty with that detail. Okay. And then I got this key. Okay, smooth that out. I hope it sticks to that good. I didn't think about that. I could shoot it with some primer, but I'm not going to. If it don't work, it don't work. Look at that. I got paint all over the back. Oh, well, you live in it. Learn from me. I make plenty of mistakes you can learn from. Plenty. So how would I fix that mistake, or prevent that mistake next time? That's the only way to learn. I don't know. Or just with a clean hand, pick it up like this, maybe. I think I need to raise it up a little bit. Okay. Got that done. Hopefully that'll turn out as pretty as I was thinking. Okay. Let me paint this big old thing. Well, now this is slick too. And I've seen people, oh, look how pretty that looked. If you wanted some of the red showing. I've seen people use the chalk paint on these metal things, so maybe it'll stick to this and my glass good. But yeah, this paint seems fine so far. It's just toxic. It don't smell toxic, but apparently it is. It smells chalky, earthy, I guess. And I know the DIY paints that J. Vintage uses are not supposed to be toxic. And I don't know about any of the others. I don't know about the Waverly. So yeah, and one thing I noticed out here, I've got paint splatters everywhere, and if I paint a lot in the house, in that room, I'm gonna get paint on the carpet, because it's carpeted. I'd pretty much have to cover the whole room with something to keep the paint off the carpet. And then I'm liable to track it through to the rest of the house, which would be easier to clean off the rest of the house unless I get me some pretty rugs or something one day. To me, the creative stuff is more fun. Like back when I was, oh, I got sweat running in my eye. Back when I was doing it for stuff for my house. But I mean, this is still better than some of the jobs I've had. A lot better. Okay. Except I ain't around people. I like to be around people. Alright. I didn't have a lot of paint on it, and I was wiping it kind of hard. And I was wiping it right off. And I don't know if I'm going to distress this frame, because it's got that burgundy under it. If I could distress it back to wood, maybe. I don't know. Okay, now do these little things. Well, this paint's covering pretty good if I go a little thicker than usual. Well, kinda, sorta. I like it pretty good. Other than the fact I'm gonna have two heads and I just wonder what's in, you know how California puts everything toxic, so. You know, this looks like it's warping this piece. I wonder if they'll warp. If they do, I'll just find something else to use in the frames. Yeah, I would consider. Oh, I see a brush bristle on my tray. But I would consider painting my bedroom. I'm trying to decide whether to paint my bedroom furniture or not. It was my mom's and dad's. They had it. They got it when she was pregnant with me. But I don't know if I'll ever get around to it anyway. I had made myself a schedule. I thought, well, a schedule worked good for me at work. Because, you know, I was custodian. And if they just said, clean those rooms and do this and that and that and this, I'd have been like, oh, I'd have never got caught up. So I thought, well, I need to make a, I'll have to remember to get those prices off that. Because she has to sell it for whatever price is on it, you know, the lowest. But what was it? Oh. And I totally haven't stuck to it. I did get up earlier, but not as early as my schedule said. Maybe that'd help. And when I get another job, that'll help me, you know, since I won't be used to sleeping late. I wasn't sleeping real late anyway, but I want to get up at, I want to get up like 7:30 or 8 and do this. Treat it, you know, like a job. Even though I only have a tiny booth. See, I don't have room in my booth for any of this, really. So, I really, really need a bigger booth. But that'll just have to wait. Oh! And I don't know if I told y'all. I'm going to be getting a van soon. That's going to be so helpful. Yeah, my ex, I guess, you know, he knew how bad I wanted one, and so he's gonna, it's old and it's used, but, you know, that's what I was looking at anyway. But it looks pretty good. And it's got so much room in it. And he's gonna get it for me. I thought that was sweet. And, you know, one thing he was thinking, I talked about going to trade day with some stuff too. And I don't have room for the big items at my booth still. I could rearrange and have room for maybe one big thing at a time. So I'm probably, you know, either going to have them in my house somewhere and advertise them on something. or just have them in that van and take them with me to trade day. You know, I need to go ahead and just do the backs of these. Okay, one thing I noticed you gotta watch for if you're painting a lot of things at once and it's like a little crowded area like this. I had blobs of paint on that, so I had to go back and smooth them out. Well, you live and you learn, you live and you learn. And under this nice shade tree you can see, well, I don't think you can see, but on the tray I'm getting debris out of the trees. Okay, I'm gonna put a second coat on this tray. I've second coated a lot of things. I figured I didn't need a 2-hour long video or so, so I just done it. Oh, now there's a couple items. We'll see how this covers. Tell you what, before I do the center, I'm gonna do these edges. Yeah, there's some of the items, the little frames that has that cardboardy looking stuff that I thought was warping. I had to spray lacquer on them. They had bleed through. And a little just square thing I painted. I think that was all. And I know you got bleed through, like, you know, most of this looks white, and it was obvious on the cardboard looking things. It's some kind of wood, I guess, but because it kind of had a wave or something. And with the other thing, it just pretty much looked kind of beige compared to all this other stuff. Now I've went around the outside of this already with a second coat. It's covering good, ain't it? And this is a pitiful cheap brush, so. Oh, and one thing, I had little speckles all over this. I don't know if you can see them. And I'm wanting to, I've never done a decal. And that's what I'm wanting to do in this one. And so I hope it won't do something. I guess I could sand it, but I tried to wipe them away while they were still a little damp. Okay. The handles. And on some of the items that I've already put the second coat, I put some Elmer's glue to get some crackle. And on that, let me show you. On that, where I had somewhere I've got the crack, so I'll put the Elmer's glue there for some crackle. Hopefully it'll disguise it. I guess I splattered that just doing the handle. But anywho, let's do this center part. And I don't think I want any crackle on this. Although it would help hide my messy edges. If I get paint globbed in the edges. I kind of like brush strokes. Some people despise them. I don't like them real deep though. This one's leaving them pretty deep. I need to find a brush. I'd probably use this paint on my bedroom suit if I end up painting it. But I need to find a brush that gets fairly smooth, or just make it rough and distressed. Mom would turn over in her grave. Of course, I guess she realizes that kind of stuff's not that important. Okay. But see, in my bedroom, I can really go shabby chic without it being, just weird. I'm trying to in my living room, but I don't know. I'm having difficulties with the pinks. I had the neutrals for so long. The pinks and the whites are just, I'm trying. Oh, and I had a little love seat at the thrift store. It looked so shabby chic, and I'm like, no, I don't need to be spending the money. But it was just $30, but $30 is $30. Okay. Oh, look at that. Think I can get them without messing it up? No. The joys of painting outside. Okay, the handle should hold it up. I can touch it up if it gets... Oh, one thing, I should have put some plastic down on this. I have so much debris that I'm just spreading all over everything as I paint because it gets in my brush. Well, actually, I'll take the paint and the camera over here. I was waiting on paint to dry, clean those butterflies. I don't know if I'll paint them there or not. Okay, let's do the edges. You know what? I might want some Elmer's glue on this too. For some crackle. This container, since the pool, I'm afraid to use it because the sun damaged the liner so bad I'm afraid it'd bust. But I've been filling this with water for my grandson playing. I even got debris stuck to my glue thing. Goodness gracious. And I can't remember if it's which way you do probably which way you do the paint determines which way you crackle run. I can't ever remember. Because I've had some crackle I didn't like because it was just like stripes. Okay. I think I did all these. I know with the glue, the crackle, you're not supposed to keep going over the same area, but you gotta get it down all these grooves. Yeah, that's debris. I believe. Debris. And this paint would probably work in a sprayer better than Waverly. Waverly's pretty thick paint. And it gets that dry, like dragging feeling quicker than this. A lot quicker. Because I watch people's videos, and they'll be talking and their brush laying there with paint on it. And they'll do this and that and go back. And I'm like, wow, if that was that Waverly, it'd be all gummed up. And I guess with Waverly, if you had to, you could maybe spray your brush with water if you had to do something else. Ugh. Try and go the opposite way because of brush strokes. Look checked. Okay. Now I'll just paint these butterflies. Okay, it don't look like a whole lot because I had to take the two big pieces in. The one that's like a metal ceiling tile and the one that was glass with the crack in it. Because my kitty cat decided to jump up here. He jumped up on those. I had to redo them. And he jumped up on these that I had the glue for the crackle. I'll show you one of them. And so he stepped on it, and the glue was still wet. And it made a place. I don't know which place he made, but I kind of liked it. And so I went around and done some places on all of them. I got bugs stuck in it. Okay, lessons learned today. It's humid in the south. Don't paint around kitty cats. And if you're gonna paint outside, get some kind of plastic cloth or something instead of painting on something that's got debris and dirt and stuff and pollen on it. Because even if you're careful, if you're going around the edge, you'll get the debris on your brush, and then it ends up on your stuff. It seems more mundane this way. It doesn't feel quite as creative, I guess. But if you need volume, you're going to have to do it this way. Or if you have a lot of clutter that you need to get done and get ready to go out. I still got to put a second coat on all the butterflies. But I'm just kind of sick of it for today. And if you book time, like if you do make a schedule and you book time, it takes longer than you think. You know, wait between coats. Of course, I went in while some of this was drying and I cleaned the butterflies, you know. And, but it took me longer than I thought it would, which that usually happens with people. Oh, and that, another thing I learned. You know, I didn't want my brush strokes going like that checkered pattern on the tin metal thing. But then I got thinking, I'd want to, I ripped the end of that and right off. I wanted the brush strokes going up and down. And so I lifted it up and looked, and the hanger would have had them going to the side. So I did them with the checkerboard look, and I'm gonna, you know, go over it with a wet cloth and try to smooth it out some. And I guess that's all the lessons I learned today. But, oh man, oh, and I have a dry towel. If you're using chalk paint, have a dry towel to wipe your hands on. My phones look terrible. If you have a wet one, it activates the paint, and then you touch your phone with activated paint, so you still get it all over it. So have a dry cloth. And I've got some, let me show you, they're all tangled in the bag. These have glitter on them, and I didn't want to get glitter on my brush before I washed it, so I was saving these for the end. But since I'm tired of painting for today, I might do these tonight, or I might just do them tomorrow. But that's it. At least I got some things done, and I'm gonna be doing a decal on this. Hopefully it'll turn out good. Oh, I'm sweaty. Oh, well, let me tell you this. And I think my next one is gonna be with rice paper on the metal tin thing. I had somebody wanting to see how to do that, so I'll try to explain it good the way I do it. See, I done forgot what I thought of. Oh, I know what it was. And I don't know about anywhere else, but if you're out in the south, you come outside to paint, get ready for some sweat bees to attack your legs. I had to go put on these old, oh man, I got paint on my sandals. I had to go put on these old sweatpants because I was like, oh, and I kept knocking them, and then I looked down, I had sweat bees all over my legs. And so, yeah, that wasn't no fun either. I don't like painting outside. So I either got to get my shop cleared out where I can paint in there and be messy, or I will do it in that room where I was planning on doing it. I'd have to be more careful because I've got paint just splattered everywhere. It's amazing, like when you're going fast, how far the splatters will go. Because I ain't ever like really went that fast because, you know, I was in my house. So yeah, I like being able to do it fast and get it over with. So I need to get my shop cleaned out somehow. It's so hot and I can't breathe good in this humidity, but maybe a little at a time. But anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. And be sure and hit that like button if you liked the video, because that'll help me out. I got to get more viewers. And I hope you subscribe. And because I'm always doing like weird stuff that I just think up, and you learn what not to do from me, because you know, I'm just kind of starting out on this myself. And I make all kinds of things. And you can keep up with my booth, the progress of my booth, progress of my goldfish, if you want to click on those. And I'm just glad you watched. Bye, y'all.